supposed to be kind of crappy weather. Let's see if we can get some good black and white shots today. Came back down to Dash Point Pier. Yeah, I was hoping for worse weather than we've got. There's just kind of some high clouds, very little wind, no waves, super high tide. The tide's actually hitting the concrete wall here. But I'm still gonna get everything out, to do some long exposure. I could see if I can get some movement in the clouds because they are moving. Plan is to just do all black and whites today, so that's why I was hoping for some worse weather. Because crappy weather equals good black and white. So I'll see how it goes, see what I can come up with. So it's become bright enough that I'm going to start using my neutral density filters. You can see I've got the ring here that threads on to the front. Of course, it's kind of hard when you have a polarizer that spins. Let you thread that on. And just gotta make sure your polarizer is where you want it. Make sure you do all your focusing with your filter off. Otherwise, you're not gonna be able to focus very well due to it being so dark. And I forgot my phone, which has my Lee app on it, so I know how long to do the exposure, so I should probably go get that since it's in my car. Okay, so I have my phone, it's got my app on it right here. So this is showing me a 5-second shutter speed. So if I use my little stop or my 6-stop, you can see you just change this up to 5 seconds, and it's showing me 5 minutes 20 seconds. Yeah, that's not what we want. So let me adjust my aperture, put that down to 8. Now we have 2-second shutter speed. So if I move this down to 2 seconds. Now it's down to 2 minutes. So I think we can go with 2 minutes. We'll see how that turns out. Open up my bag. Now basically a neutral density filter. It's pretty much all you're doing, putting a pair of really dark sunglasses on your lens so you can see, and you can't really see through it unless it's really bright out. So what this does, slips into this holder here, and then you just put it on the front of your camera, like that, and you change your shutter speed to bulb mode. And then now you just hit this and hold that for 2 minutes. If it's really bright out, you need to cover your viewfinder because light will leak in there and ruin your photo. But since it's fairly dark out, I'm not too concerned with it. So we'll leave this, see how it goes. Hopefully it'll turn out good. So here's what I've got right now. You can see I'm actually propped up on this picnic table to give me a better angle. Because last time what happened was, basically see how I've got this gap right there. That's how I had most of my photos, and it's just distracting. So my plan is to get up high, so separate that gap farther, or after I do this I'm going to get down lower. You can see if I come down lower, put the mountain in the dock there, then it's not so distracting. So that's my plan after I do this 2-minute long exposure, and I'll see how that turns out. So I just put on my big stopper, which is 10 stop filter. It's supposed to give me an exposure time of roughly 3 minutes and 20 seconds. So see how that goes. We're actually starting to get some color up there in the sky. You can see, so hopefully that'll drift in front of my photo and kind of make it look really nice. So I moved out onto the pier. You can see what I'm looking at right now. Just down the pier. I'm doing a 4-minute exposure right now. I really get the streak in the clouds. You can see getting some blue sky now. I'm gonna have to break out the infrared camera here pretty soon. The sun keeps coming out more, so that'll be good. Other than that, just chilling out, taking some long exposure. See, I'm only at 41 seconds, so I've got a bit of time left. So, see, I think I'm about done here. But like I said, if the sun comes out, we'll get the infrared camera out and do something and so I can come up with before I go home and do some editing. So I think that's it for me today. I think I'll go home, do some editing, get them up online, see what I can come up with. So I got home, everything's uploaded to Lightroom, and I'll show you how to go from this photo to this. The whole point of today was hopefully get some bad weather and get some nice black and whites. So we'll start out with this. You can see it's got this little grate right there that I'm not a big fan of. But the first thing we'll do is do the remove chromatic aberration, lens profile correction. And then we'll come up, let's go to the crop tool. Just kind of bring that up just to the tip of that little grate. And that'll be good. And from here, so one thing, so I use my Lee big stopper and it has a real blue cast to it. You can fix that in your camera, but then you have to remember to refix it or put everything back to normal when you take it off. So I just like to deal with it in post. So I'll just bring up the yellows just a little bit, kind of make it look more natural. Here, kind of the same thing, kind of bring down the highlights, bring up my white point quite a bit. That's my shadows, never mind. Bring up my shadows a little bit. White point, bring that up quite a bit, really bring out the tones of the photo. Let's bring down the black points at the alter option key and drag those down just a little bit to about there. From here, I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so from here, I'm going to right click, edit in, and then all these are the Nick softwares right here, and I go to Silver Effects Pro 2. And then you want to edit a copy with Lightroom adjustments. So the Silver Effects Nick software is their black and white software. It makes it really easy to go to black and white. You can see it's loading up right now. Usually takes just a couple minutes and it's done. So you can see we've got all these presets over here to choose from, which makes it really easy. You know, so all you do is just kind of click through and just figure out which ones you like. You can see like high structure, it's harsh. You can see it just got really grainy. So I'm not a big fan of that one. This low key, yeah, that one's not bad. Really brings out kind of everything. So let's see what else we have through here. Push process, that one's pretty grainy as well. Full dynamic, still kind of grainy. So let's go back up to this low key 2, low key 1. We'll go with low key 1. So from here, I really like this as is. There are things you can do. You can amplify the whites a little bit, bring up the blacks just a little bit. They're just global adjustments. So once you're happy with the global adjustments, you can go to these control points. Hit like this control point. Let's say you want this to be whiter here. So you click on it, and then this is how big your circle is that gets adjusted. So let's say you want to bring that over here. Click on this arrow, amplify whites, amplify blacks. This is your structure. So you can just kind of click on this little tab, this little button here, drag it to really bring up the lights. And if that's what you want, then you hit your Alt or Option key, and then you can just drag another one around. It just copies it. Makes it really easy to do. So I think from there, I think that looks pretty good. I think I'll just leave that as is, and then just click Save. And it saves it, and then it opens up back up in Lightroom. And you can double process it again, basically, because it takes that current image and reloads it as this. So from here, I think we'll do some sharpening, because he's got all this graininess up here. So let's go to the sharpening tool. Let's see, right here. So we'll sharpen this just a little bit, just kind of bring out those edges. Hit your Alt or Option key, bring up the masking, because we don't want to sharpen any of the sky or the water. We just want like the edge of the dock and the edge of the mountain. And from here, so we'll zoom into this one. You can see it's all just grainy. So we'll bring up the noise reduction, about 43, 44. You can see it gets rid of most of that. You know, it's not perfect by any means. You can also bring up your color, but that doesn't really do anything, so we'll leave that one down. I mean, you can always bring this up as high as you want. It'll get rid of even more. Downside to it is it can, you know, kind of smooth out all this stuff and make it look a little bit blurry. See how it's just not real sharp anymore. So we'll drag that back down, kind of bring out the sharpness of the dock. Then from there, we'll zoom back out. And we'll do the brush, bring up the exposure just a little bit. Kind of a big soft brush. Then you just kind of go with these cloud streams. Kind of brighten those up just a little bit. Something like that. Just kind of bring out some more white. Okay, let's bring up the dock just a little bit more. Kind of bring your eye into something. Okay, so from there, I think we can call that done. Then obviously you want to go through and find any spots. Go like the 1-to-1. There's a little spot right there that was on my lens. You just kind of scroll around a little bit, find anything else you want to get rid of. There's a water spot right there because it was sprinkling a little bit. Click on that one, get rid of that. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. I'll call that done. Zoom back out. And if we want, we can really close in the photo. We can bring in some vignetting, just kind of highlight that white in the center. Let's maybe bring up the exposure just a little bit to kind of brighten the whole image. We just want to keep off this right edge over here. So I think that looks pretty good. You know, the whole point was black and white today. Really emphasize the bad weather, but it wasn't as bad as I was hoping. I was hoping this would be all misty and you wouldn't even be able to see it. But that's just the way it goes. I think that will leave that one. Call that good. Should we do another one? Actually, let's do one in color. So I kind of like the tones up in here. So we have these. We have this one. Oh, this one's really nice. Really blue. This was a 201 second shot. What is that? Like 4 minutes, 3.5 minutes, 3 minutes, 20 seconds, something like that. Okay, so from here, we can actually go down to some of these presets from last time. So if we come down, let's see, dramatic dock. I want to do sunrise dock. Sunrise dock? Yeah, maybe not. Let's import that, reload that one again. Okay, so let's just start from scratch. Let's go down, make sure we do the remove chromatic aberration. Okay, so from here, it's actually is pretty level. So when I click over here off the edge, it brings up all the lines. You can see the horizon there is pretty level, so we'll just stick with that. Know that. Okay, so let's bring down the highlights a little bit, darken that sky, bring up the shadows, let's bring up the white point just for clipping, bring down the blacks. Okay, let's bring up a little bit of vibrance. Oh, I had my stopper on, so let's bring up some of the yellows, get rid of some of that blue. From here, we can see some of this magenta color in here, so I think I'd like to emphasize that. So let's zero everything out, bring up the magenta a little bit, and just kind of brush this in. Just a little bit, kind of give this guy a little bit more pop. Maybe a little bit down in there. Leave that one. How about some contrast? Actually, I'll show you another trick. So if we right click, edit in, Color Effects Pro 4. I'll show you the advantages of using this Color Effects Pro 4. It has a whole bunch of presets you can use. I've kind of found 3 or 4 that I like to use because they just keep it simple and don't overdo it. So I can run through a couple of those, what I normally go through. So once it loads up here, okay, so we're loading this line here. It shows you the before and after. So right now all it's done is done the pro contrast over here, and that's all settable. You can see it, you know, depending on how much you want. I usually keep that pretty low. Then they're dynamic. So depending on what you want, but remember the more you add in, the grainier it'll get. From here you can click add filter. I like to do the tonal contrast, and by default it's got these numbers like 25, 50, 25, and 25. I like to keep those pretty low, so we'll start out like 10, 15, 10, and then 10. Oh, that one went to 100, sorry. 10. And then that looks a little more natural. You can see how that's really brought out everything. And then the same thing with the silver effects. You have these control points where the minus, it deletes the effect, and the plus adds to the effect. So if you don't want the effect up in your sky, you can just hit like this. Now it's a minus. You can see how it just completely changed. We can increase the circle. You know, the zero opacity. You know, do you want it all the way on, or do you want none of it? So it's just all on what you want. I'm gonna leave it in the sky because I like the little broken up cloud look. Here you can go add filter again. I seem to like this skylight filter. Just seems to add a little bit of magenta or something to the photo, and you can completely change how much it affects. You can go way over, you can come way down. So I usually leave it around 20, anywhere from 15 to 30%. Usually pretty good. So that completely changed photo. You see, that's where we started. That's where we are now. I think we'll call that good for this one. But you can see it's got all these. We can add another filter. We can add, you know, a glamour glow, where we can change the glow of it. Kind of gives more of an Orton effect. You know, you can change the saturation on it, and so you know, it's just all personal preference on that one. So I think we'll leave that one off. You can add, you know, if there's bright sunlight, you know, you can add extra light. You know, here's the temperature of your light, blue or yellow, you know, brightness of it. But it's usually just the pro contrast, tonal contrast, and skylight filter that I use on a regular basis. So I think we'll call that good. Go back into Lightroom. It'll automatically save it for you and open up Lightroom again. Okay, so now we're back in the Lightroom. I think we'll go, so you can zoom in and see it's all grainy, so let's get rid of all that. So let's sharpen. Actually, I think it actually is pretty sharp, so I'm going to leave the sharpening off. Just increase the noise reduction. Get rid of that. Yeah, that looks better. Now we can also do the color noise. Kind of get rid of some of that as well. Another thing you can do as well is add a neutral density filter, graduated filter, and then just bring up the noise. That'll delete a lot of it as well. That way it's just kind of just in the sky. See how it gets real noisy, you bring it all the way up, really smooths it out. So I think we'll go with that for that one. That way the sky is really smooth. Then we could actually add another one. See, if you put your mouse over it too, where it's red is where it makes the changes. So let's add another one. Let's bring it up from the bottom. Kind of a little bit of an angle so it kind of goes with the dock. And the same thing, we'll just bring up the noise. Kind of kill the noise in the water. Yeah, and then we can bring up the magenta a little bit as well. I'm going to call that good. So from here, I think we'll go another brush, zero everything out, bring up the exposure just a little bit, and I'll just kind of highlight down in this area here. You can see a little bit here as well. Just kind of like a reflection from this area. Let's bring down the density and the flow. Let's redo this here. Let's hit the reset button for that. And then we can just kind of brush it in just a little bit. Now you can see I brought down the density and flow over here, so it's just not as powerful. So I think from there, I'm going to call that one done. A little bit of vignetting, kind of close in the photos, kind of get the focus down. So I think that's good. Actually, let's do another exposure brush. Bring the exposure up. Bring up the density, bring up the flow. Let's make this a small brush. And then we'll just kind of paint on the dock and just kind of make that the highlight of the photo. Something kind of like that. Now if we turn that on and off, you can see it just kind of brought out the docks a little more. Okay. I think other than that, we can go through and, do a spot check. But I don't need to get into that right now. Gone over that with some other ones. So I think we'll call that good. So if you liked the video, feel free to subscribe, hit the like button. So leave me any comments. If you want anything different, you want me to go through something, let me know. Check out the website, randybotphotography.com. And thanks for watching.